Yes.
Here we are, like 64 subscribers later, after our test run.
I still can't believe it, man.
Yeah, that was a very
awesome,
quick,
man.
very, very quick
I'm just
response.
Like, I'm not here to toot our own horns, but you know what?
Toot toot, little toots.
Give it a little clap. I'm glad that it's actually somebody's listening to it.
Somebody's out there listening.
Yeah, somebody's out there listening. I want to make sure that the stuff that Lee said got their gears
got them turning.
I don't know why it sounded like a clock or something like that, but
I listened.
Well, there's gears on a clock.
Well, I listened to it by myself once all the way through, and then me and you listened to it all the way through at work.
Yeah,
I loved it.
I thought it was good.
I was just as sucked in the second time hearing all of, well, obviously not all of Lee's stories, but what we got of his stories. I loved every minute of it. It was a lot of fun, and the feedback. I'm getting messages from people. The feedback's awesome. Everybody gets sucked into the story and they want to hear it. They want to hear what Lee's got to say. And I love it. I wish we had that for the Dogman.
Oh, yeah.
But we don't.
I really would like to see if somebody would come out and say, give us some kind of encounter, man.
Exactly. That's been a little bit frustrating. Because I worked on the Sasquatch stuff. I wanted to research a little bit and get a background, so I didn't go in completely cold bore. Just if they described something like tree knocking, I wanted to know what they were talking about.
Yeah.
I didn't want him to have to take us to preschool, basically. Educate every step of the way up to where he's at. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna learn a little bit. But as I was researching, the Dogman comes out of nowhere, especially the Dogman of the land between the lakes. And this one is huge. There's so many people that swear up and down there is a Dogman or Dogman, depending on how you want to pronounce it, living in the area of the land between the lakes. And the bombshell is that in the 80s, a family of 4 was killed in a camper. It was like a camper. This thing was ripped apart. All of them were killed, whatever. They found one person up in a tree.
So you don't think it could have been anything else?
That's the thing. I went looking well, I know there's red wolves. They're not very big. They're not much bigger than a coyote, as far as I understand. But I went looking for that. I was like, well, maybe bears. Maybe there's a bear or something. I don't know. Somebody out there might be able to tell us, is there bears? Is there bears big enough to do that? And the most interesting part is the officials that investigated it, that actually were there, their official statement was it was an animal attack. They didn't have they didn't have anything solid, they were just, it's an animal attack. Some animal, that's a wide spectrum. Was it a raccoon? You know what I mean? Was it a pack of raccoons? Was it the most deadly pack of raccoons that ever walked on the earth, all got together and said, these people gotta go?
These guys are dicks.
Or was it, right? Or was it, was it a bear?
But I've never seen a bear get, how high you were talking about.
From what I understand, it was 12, 13, 14 feet, somewhere in the teens, up in the air.
That's you couldn't say that it was a bear then, because that's your number one rule. When you if you have food at your campsite and there's bears around,
you hang it up in a tree.
You hang it up in a tree.
Exactly. And the thing that gets me the most about the whole thing is that you would think that with a story that big, that a lot of people would be coming out of the woodworks that's a bear attack, that's this, and this happened, and this animal came into the camper, and there makes me raise a few questions. Okay, why was the camper trashed, the outside and the inside? Why was it why was the side panels ripped off of it? Why was the door hanging off of like one hinge? I mean, I've never been in a bear attack before, but do they do that? Do they, you know? And the thing is I don't even know if there's bears in the land between the lakes. Maybe there is. Somebody's going to have to reach out to us and let us know. But you would think it would come. It would bring people out saying like, "Oh, you know, it was a bear attack. You know, it was a rabid pack of red wolves did it." You know, all you get is it was the Dogman. The Dogman got him, and it's not just by one person. It's multiple people.
Yeah.
The Dogman got him. So I got curious. I was like, what the hell is the Dogman? What's that all about? We're familiar with Bigfoot by now. Bigfoot's everywhere. Sasquatch sightings. You got experts out in the field. You got people everywhere. They're out there. They're searching. They're trying to prove that this is a thing. It's a real thing. It's a real creature. It's a real being. Maybe, I don't know. There's even people that believe that the Sasquatch is a spiritual entity. You know, but the Dogman, not so much. And in fact, when you bring up the Dogman to Sasquatchers, they, they kind of, I don't know. They don't really,
they think that's a bunch of malarkey.
I feel like that's a line for them. Like, well, we've already got our hands full with Bigfoot here.
Yeah.
You know, we can't really spare any more time to go looking for this. So I watched a bunch of videos. I even found one, it was like a TV show, like Mountain Monsters, I think it was called. And they claimed that they had a Dogman, a.k.a. Demon Wolf. And the guy actually showed him footage. And he comes out and he shows the footage. He's walking through the woods. He gets to a tree. And this clip is out on YouTube. You can look it up. When he gets to the tree, he kind of leans around it. And then you see this big wolf demon looking dog come out and go up over this thing and just run off. Didn't stop and look at him, didn't do nothing, it just ran off. And I was like, wow, that's staggering. And their reaction in the show was, oh my god, look at that thing, and they're reacting. So my son's an animator, he likes to do computer animation, he lives for this stuff. I was like, well, why don't you have a look at this, see what you think. So he sits down, he looks, and he zooms it in, he slows it down, and he starts picking out the little pixels around the demon dog, and the pixels are blurry in a different way than the rest of the video, like the pixel sizes, you know what I mean? And instantly he goes, I think this is fake. He goes, I just think this is fake, because he's like, when you look at these pixels around this, he's like, they're different from the pixels everywhere else in the video. He's like, also, the camera panning was too perfect. He knew where the animation was going to be, so he made sure the camera was there. And I kind of felt a little dumb, because when I first saw it, I was like, holy shit, look at this thing, I'm excited, but I'm already amped up. I got like 2 weeks of Bigfoot under my belt. I'm ready. I want to believe, So, that being said, there's a lot of fakes. There's a lot of nonsense.
Yeah, but I've actually heard other things, other theories about this. They don't think it's just like a humanoid dog, man, like something like that. They think it's actually what's the prehistoric wolf, dire wolf.
Dire wolf, yeah.
Yeah, like something like, it's just like how some people believe that, I think we kind of touched based on the Gigantopithecus, like a prehistoric.
Right.
Like kind of the prehistoric ape. So maybe this might be another offshoot of, if they're seeing something, this is an offshoot of the dire wolf, because they have record of a dire wolf being real. So
okay,
but so maybe
kind of like what we said on the last podcast was the blueprints already there.
Yeah, maybe something that.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, go back to other prehistoric animals, the ground sloth. I mean, look at sloths that are alive right now. They're slow. They stay close to the ground. They move real slow. They're real like docile. They're not really mean. At least they're, I've never seen anything about a mean one. But the prehistoric ground sloth was, I mean, it was the baddest dude around. Nobody messed with it. It was big, it was nasty, it was mean, it was bad-tempered. It was only rivaled in size and ferocity by the short-nosed bear, which, little Easter egg here, there has been reports of sightings of a short-nosed bear, which I would like to get into in the future. But, yeah, maybe the blueprint is there. I don't know. But a lot of these stories say that this thing literally stands up and runs on 2 feet. And there's some videos. I've got a couple here loaded up. I figured we'd take a look at. We'll put the links in the description and let people see for themselves. I'm not real sure what we're going to see. I didn't put together like a specific list. I literally typed in Dogman caught on camera in the search, and whatever's on there, I figured we'd take a look. We'll check it out, see what we think, and maybe we can get something under here. And what I'm hoping for with the purpose of this whole podcast, folks, you guys listening, is that I'm hoping that one of you has had an encounter with this, and maybe we can get you on the phone and we can talk about it. I'd like to hear your point of view. I would really like to hear this from your words. I understand that YouTube videos are a huge media. It's a huge what do you call it?
Outlet.
It's a huge outlet for information, but YouTube's also, you can edit it, you can tamper it, and I want to hear someone just talk to me, kind of the way Lee called. We called Lee told us his story. That's what I want. I'm looking for someone out there who's had an experience with the Dogman, and I'm hoping that you reach out to us. It's encounters@kyxfiles.com. All right, so if you have had something, reach out to us, let us know, and we'd love to have you on. But yeah, if you want to get into this, though, we can do that. At least check it out. This first video I've got loaded up here is Texas Dogman caught on camera. The YouTube page is called Paranormal World. Looks like this has got about 7,000 views on it, so if anybody listening wants to check it out, let us know what you think. All these podcasts will be on every kind of outlet and YouTube, so you can check us out anywhere. Share it with your friends. Shameless plug. So let's dig into this. I'm gonna try to make sure this doesn't deaf us. So here we go. It's a pretty dark video.
Hi, I am in Texas and traveling south from Houston, and then
Can't place the guy's accent.
I stop right here. Behind me there is gas station and there is a restaurant. So I got some food and I was eating here.
Okay.
And I just
see a Starbucks sign.
We'll see. I am so excited about Texas mythical creature.
Okay, so this guy's actually out there looking. Something moved over here.
Okay, so I think I saw something, but I'm not sure. It's too dark. Can be dog or can be fox or can be...
Yeah, something on the left side of the screen moved, but I couldn't really make it out.
I saw that too.
Oh, something.
I will upload it for you when I get home. I mean, I'm not gonna be home for a couple of weeks, but I'm gonna upload
I love the guy's
it when
accent,
I have
though.
time.
Wonder where he's
when I
from.
have computer too. Thank you.
Okay, so here we're probably going to get the slow motion replay here. It looks like something walking on the left side.
Yeah. It's like cut off, so I really can't tell.
The only bad part about this is that shadow looked. It looked see-through. It looked like something where somebody drew on the. Oh, crap. I don't think I got back far enough here.
I'm gonna upload it when I have time, when I have computer too. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. The shadow looks really, really see-through. You kind of see the... See how you can, like, see right through the grass almost? Or the actual shadow?
Yeah.
I'm not sure how I feel about that one.
Yeah, that one didn't seem too good.
That one's kind of... I'm on the fence with that. So anyway, okay, moving on to the next video. So, loading up Way of Vlogs. Hopefully we find it. Dogman caught on camera in 2018 in daylight. And this must be it. Looks like we got a couple more here too. So let's check this one out. This is the top one. Viewed 19,000 times. This video is about 2 years old, so let's take a look. Hopefully we don't get a bunch of ads. Like usual.
Hello YouTube. It's Way Vlogs here today, and
Hello.
I'm walking down this path right here in the middle of the woods. There's train tracks that way, and it's just woods all this way. And while I was walking down the path, I didn't record it, but I heard fucking howling. It sounded really fucking close. And like, there's coyotes around here, but it didn't sound. It sounded human. Yeah, it sounded fucking human. Did you fucking hear that?
Okay.
Headphones.
I can't tell if he's
Fucking knife or anything.
that excited or if he's overacting.
I want to feel like he's a little overacting.
Yeah. And the camera's zooming in. I see something discolored right here. Okay, he sees it too.
It's coming after me. Fucking shit. My fucking leg.
Okay. Okay, so I don't know. This is the ocean you have to get through to find anything substantial in regards to this. The stories are there. I can't believe I'm going to say this, but the Bigfoot videos are more credible. There's a lot more going on with them. There's a lot more consistency. I don't know if that's the right word I'm looking for, but with this subject, it's all over the place.
It's more horror factor. Everybody wants to scare somebody.
Yeah. Let me see if I can. Okay, this guy's got a bunch. I mean, he's got a lot of Dogman. I'm just leaning towards this as like kind of a hobby.
Yeah.
You know. Here's the 7 types of Dogman. Let's check this out.
There's 7 types?
Apparently so.
Jesus Christ.
Beware of the woods. This video is the 7 types of Dogman. It is on the channel called Matt Squatch Presents. I like the name. Some Miss Real. sometimes we are the prey. It's spooky.
Good evening. Tonight I would like to talk to you about the different types of dogmen that are out there. Laymen know them as werewolves and some of their historical significance. Now, this is something I really had to look into. I know a bit about Dogman. I've heard a lot of the stories. As mysterious as Sasquatch is, and we know very little about the Dogman other than some reports. Because they seem to be a little bit more rare and less widely distributed as Bigfoot. But I looked into it, and it turns out there are close to probably 7 different types, perhaps more, that are easily recognized. So, for those of you who aren't familiar, I did a video about the 10 different types of Sasquatch. I'll leave the link in the description. One of my more popular earlier videos. Just a quick rundown. We'll go over the 4 basic types most of you are familiar with. The big patty type with flat teeth, omnivorous. The smaller, more chimp-like. The wood boogers, kind of found in the south.
Wood boogers?
A little bit more warmer climates. The type 3, the one that are found in the Missouri and Mississippi River
I'm going to have to remember that. Wood boogers. Next time we talk to Lee, I'm going to bring that up.
We'll talk more about them later in this video, because that kind of pertains more to some of these dogman types as well. Devil monkeys and different things like that in the Bigfoot family. I'll leave the link in the description below for you to check it out if you haven't seen it.
Okay, here we go.
So some of the historical significance of dogmen and werewolves, or whatever you want to call these things. One of the most obvious that most of you probably know
Anubis.
is the god Anubis in the Egyptian lore. It was a god of the underworld, I believe, and it had a jackal-like head and a human-like
So that's kind of
body.
interesting.
And,
so we've had dogman
powers and things that
history all the way back to
wouldn't be normally
Egypt.
associated with an animal. And then all over Europe, you have stories of werewolves and men transforming into these giant beasts, and also the story of vampires seem to be linked to them as well, and then battles that these species have. And you always have stories in Eastern Europe and all over the world of small villages being raided by packs of these dogmen and werewolves, and people disappearing in the night, and blood-curdling howls.
For 1 second.
Too big to be wolves.
That reminds me of the story. It was in France, 1400s France. They were terrorized for a couple years, by a giant, wolf beast.
I think I remember this story, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, they all the way to the point where they brought in specialist hunters to actually kill it, and then they stuffed it. And then the last I heard was the beast itself was stuffed. It was taxidermed and then locked away out of the view of the public.
You told me the story.
Yeah, they didn't want people to look at it. I always thought that was interesting. Why was that a big deal? I mean, surely at that point they'd seen stuffed wolves and stuffed bears, things like that before. So why?
Have you seen what a stuffed lion looks like when a person didn't know what a lion looked like?
No.
It is so disturbingly weird.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know.
So do you think they just did a bad job at it?
They didn't know what a lion looked like, and they had to stuff one for a king or something, a really long time ago. So they had to make it up in their head, and it looked terrifying. You can Google it.
They invented a lion?
Yeah. You can Google it. It's so weird.
It. Maybe when they finished stuffing this thing, maybe they were like, we did a really bad job here, fellas. Let's just tell them that you shouldn't look at it. Don't look at it. It's too horrible. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting that the god Anubis, all the way back to Egypt, in France, the story of the beast of, I can't think of the name of the place, but it's literally named after that town. The Vikings believed in shapeshifters and berserkers, that would change themselves into bears.
Native Americans too, didn't they?
Native Americans believed in men who could shapeshift into wolves and bears and all kinds of stuff. So again, like you said earlier, the blueprints are there. At least the legends are there. So I don't know. I mean, some of these videos.
It only takes one.
Yeah.
It only takes one. Yeah. This woman claims she was able to capture the clearest image of the Dogman ever. I'm going to give it a second, just in case there's an ad. Unexplained Mysteries is the channel.
The Dogman is an elusive cryptid that's been seen all across America. Cryptids are creatures that are not backed up by science, noting that there's not enough evidence to suggest that they exist. However, a large number of people have come forward in recent years and have detailed their encounters, and one of the most interesting ones is that of the mysterious Dogman, a large human dog-like creature described as looking like a werewolf, and possessing superhuman strength and abilities. One of the issues with the majority of these encounters is that they happen so fast and the eyewitnesses is usually left dazzled and confused. This comes down to the fact that they weren't expecting to see such a creature, so don't have things like cameras ready when the encounter happens. When the eyewitnesses reach for their camera, the creature is usually vanished. However, I was sent a video and photos from a woman who claimed to have captured proof of the Dogman.
Alright.
As mentioned, the Dogman cryptid is probably one of the hardest to capture on camera, and even harder to do so in the daytime. Yet this individual claims that what they saw looked eerily similar to the descriptions of the mysterious Dogman. She said the following about the encounter. Yes, please use the images. I want everyone to look at it and tell me what they think because I have no idea what it is.
I don't know.
It looks like it has a canine head to me and is as big as a bear, so I'm kinda thinking it's a Dogman. Also, there have been several sightings back in the same area
That's
of an
really
upright
weird.
walking canine. Absolutely, go ahead and share my story. I've had
It
other
kinda looks
encounters
like a
in the
deer,
area as
though.
well.
I was
Like
thinking
I
that
said,
too.
other people in the
Kinda looks
area
like a
have
deer.
reported seeing a large upright creature. There's definitely something back there and it's staying around the same area because 3 other people have seen the same thing. End quote. Here's the video.
Yeah, what is that? What's that? I seen its ear flick. Oh my god! It just looks and perked its ears up. What? Do it again, Kenna. Do it again.
You're just gonna do it. Make a noise.
No.
Why?
That is
Interestingly,
really
it does
weird.
appear to resemble the Dogman cryptid, having a canine head and slender but muscular body.
I feel like
Yeah,
if it was more of like a Dogman, they wouldn't be sitting there like tempting it with howls and stuff.
Yeah,
Like, they'd probably be out of there.
If it's a Dogman, why would it be sitting there just
Vibing.
staring? You know what I mean? I mean, think of a wild canine.
Yeah.
You go into its territory, it's gonna let you know. You know, get out of here.
I think
It's just sitting there.
It might be deer, but at the same time, it's not running away. That's the only problem I'm having.
And that is true. A deer would usually bolt
At the picture,
unless it was sick
it looks.
or wounded.
Oh, true. There is a disease where deer become zombies.
Wasting's disease.
Yeah.
Okay.
It looks like multiple things as well. Cause like if you look to its right, I think, or the right of the picture, it looks like there's something next to it,
Yeah.
but I can't really make out what.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. That's
So I have a question.
shoot.
Is a Dogman essentially like a werewolf, or is it something?
No, this is like what we're considering a Dogman. It's its own thing. It's like Sasquatch. It's like
Okay.
it was. This creature is.
Creature.
It's a creature. It's not. It's not a myth. It's not a mystical
Yeah.
creature or something of that nature. So
Right.
yeah, I wanted to actually like since we're going through this,
Yeah.
let's kind of break it down. I think we've actually talked about this before. What would you think it'd take for somebody to actually turn into a werewolf? Like somebody that acts like. I think we've talked about this. You would have to have some kind of rapid bone growth.
Sure. Sure.
So some kind of like calcium, like an abnormal high calcium level, just to grow bones
Yeah.
right off the bat.
I always kind of had the feeling like
A hair disease.
you can't really have one without the other, or you can't really have best of both worlds when it comes to nature, right? So, like sharks are huge and powerful, but they lack in bones. You know, they don't have dense bones. They have more cartilage than anything. They're more flexible, but that doesn't mean they're any less dense and powerful. Whereas, you know, say like a cow huge bone structure, very, very strong. Cartilage, it has what it needs, but it's not made of cartilage, you know. So my thought is if you had to rapidly grow in size, then I think it would come down to cartilage. It would come down to more cartilage growth, which I don't know if that's even possible.
Yeah.
I watched a video where a kid literally dislocated his thumb and stretched his thumb out, and his thumb came all the way out past his finger, and then he literally put it back, and he was double jointed, and he could do all that stuff, you know. The blueprint's there, you know. I don't know, as far as turning into a werewolf, the only problem I have with the whole thing is that you got two different animals, the human animal and the canine,
that's what I was
on
thinking.
two different evolutionary paths through history.
Yeah.
At what point would you have to go from here back to find the common ancestor? Which we have a common ancestor with all life on Earth. You know, so at some point in history, there is a common ancestor between us and canines, but there's also a common ancestor between us and felines. And there's a common ancestor between those two.
There's actually a story. I can't remember where it actually is, but there's can't remember what they called the person, but it was half woman, half cat.
Wow,
That's weird.
Yeah, I'll look it up, but I saw that a while back ago when I was just doing some research, and I saw that, and I was like,
I've also
very interesting.
Another thought is like the thought of people combining a human and animals, because that's actually
like Frankenstein kind of thing,
because that has happened multiple times in
are you
history.
talking about like
Hybridization?
are
Yeah.
you talking
It's
about
like
test tube kind of things,
like taking people and putting replacing limbs?
so
with animals.
so Frankenstein?
Have you
Basically,
ever
yeah.
seen that where they grew a human ear on the back of a mouse?
Yeah, back of a mouse.
When I
Yeah.
first saw that, I was like, oh my god,
I saw
here it goes. You know, here we go.
a few news articles saying that they're starting to combine animals with humans down in
The
Japan
patents,
or something.
The patents for animal-human hybridization, we've had that shit locked in for the last 3 decades.
Didn't we
so
already clone
weird.
goats?
Dolly was the name of the goat that was, or the sheep that was cloned. Yeah,
Those cloned.
yeah. And Dolly lived a pretty good life, from what I understand. She
I
was
know
identical to the other one.
I know there was a family who had a cat, and they got the cat cloned because it was such a big part
Yeah,
of their
I've
life.
heard of that too. That's a big
I
thing
didn't know that.
now. If
Yeah.
you're wealthy and you lose your pet, you can literally have.
So
your
you're
pet
telling me they're doing repet
repet?
Literally.
from Sixth Day with Arnold?
Yeah, it's crazy.
funny.
But yeah, they're doing it. You know, it's amazing. So I think that.
But yeah, the
But
one
it's-
thing that I was getting back at. So do you if the Dogman, if you would say definitively it could be real,
Yeah.
but you don't believe that it's a werewolf. You don't think it's a human that is turning into a wolf. Wolf-like
I don't
creature.
think it's a human.
Yeah, I
turning
feel
Because there's
into a
nothing,
wolf.
because there's really nothing in nature that does that, other than that frog that changes gender.
Was the African clawed frog changes gender? Yeah.
The closest thing would be the frog and then a chameleon, because the chameleon changes its color.
Changes color.
That's the closest we could probably get.
Wait,
But
cuddle-
nothing
and an
physical,
octopus.
nothing physically
yeah,
can change.
cuttlefish or octopus.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Personally, I think that a dogman is more likely to happen than a werewolf. Because a dogman can just be a mutant off of a wolf.
Well, that's what we're saying is that I just can't, me personally, I could not see something and this breaks my heart a lot because I do love werewolves, because that's
Right, yeah.
awesome.
Me too.
So, but yeah, the Dogman seems a little bit more plausible because it's an offshoot. It's just the plausibility of Sasquatch. It's that offshoot. So I'm thinking is that I'm going off of what we said. The Gigantopithecus, the blueprint was already there.
Yeah.
The direwolf was already there. This thing had to evolve from the direwolf, but there's just not that many. Just like if the Sasquatch is real, there's just not that many out there.
Something interesting I came across. It was funny because I was looking for Dogman info, and I ended up with it was like a poster. I think you could actually buy this poster, and it was a bunch of famous foot casts, but it wasn't just Bigfoot. Mm-hmm. It was Bigfoot, Yeti.
Interesting.
I one of the smaller ones. I get, what do you call it? Forest boogers or wood boogers?
Yeah, wood boogers.
I love that. I love wood boogers now.
Okay.
If I ever had a Sasquatch on my own land, I'd probably nickname him Wood Booger just because I like the name of it. But there was a Mothman footprint.
Yes.
There was a Jersey, what they call it, the Jersey Devil.
Yeah, the Jersey Devil.
The Jersey Devil.
I think they made the cast to match the old footprints that they found of the Jersey Devil. I don't think they actually casted it.
So it's like kind of a replica.
Yeah. But there was something interesting that I noticed. The Dogman footprints were really, really cool. I've seen the Dogman footprints online before. People have found, and I'll admit they're interesting because I feel like it's a lot harder to fake a canine foot, unless you're a really good carver or a sculptor. I think it's a lot harder to fake a dog footprint because of the way their pad moves. They leave a distinct type of footprint. Like we found dog footprints and deer. When Frank goes running through the woods, you can actually see his footprint. He leaves a footprint that's a lot bigger than his foot because he's in a hurry. When he's in a hurry, he's not graceful, right? Not all dogs are like that. Some dogs are more graceful when they're in a hurry, so they leave a different footprint. But the thing that's interesting to me is that most of the Dogman footprints are the same. They have the same stride to them, and that's one thing. But I'm going to derail for 1 second because I thought this was really interesting, and it's kind of a follow-up to the Sasquatch episode. We were talking about their feet.
Yeah.
Okay, check this out. The Yeti footprints are found over in, say, like Russia, Siberia, Asia. The foot casts have the thumb on the foot.
Oh, dang.
Weird.
Here in America, Alaska, Canada, our Bigfoot castings mostly have it's a big humanoid foot, but the Yeti footprints actually have that offset, almost opposable big toe.
So they might be more related to like the monkey side of the.
I don't know, but it's a consistency that's interesting.
Well, that's another thing too. Didn't they? Well, the Gigantopithecus, didn't they? It had that same thing, right?
It did.
So, like, that's still like it still goes.
There's a problem with the Gigantopithecus though, that science has acknowledged. Okay. Yes, it was the largest of the what did they say, orangutan family. Okay, it was the largest of the orangutan family.
I like orangutans.
I do too. The problem is that they have no proof that it walked upright.
Oh,
that is pure speculation that I found out. We speculate that the Gigantopithecus walked upright, but we actually have no idea.
But the skeletal structure, have they found have they actually found a skeletal?
They have found pieces, and the whole thing started with a set of molars.
So so there's more speculation on the actual.
That's exactly it.
Size, because if you actually see this, the way that they're I guess they're speculating on.
Yeah.
I could not see it crawl I could see it standing upright just because the way that the legs are.
Right.
Because if you would see the skeletal structure of say an orangutan or a gorilla, you could see how their legs are.
Yeah,
their knees are more bent because they're more crouched down.
Yeah, you would see the proportions of it and know that okay, this seems like they would use all its limbs to walk.
Sure.
So that's what I'm saying. If we could actually see that. So that's another thing too, is that we never seen the everybody says the skeletal structure of, you were saying the Dogman.
Yeah.
Said that it walks up on two legs.
Right.
What about the skeletal structure of a direwolf? Has anybody showed that? Could
Yes. The skeletal structure of a direwolf, barring some minor things in the teeth, is almost identical. I mean, almost identical in every way, shape, and form to a modern day wolf, except for size. It's a lot bigger. And when I say it's a lot bigger, it's a bit bigger.
Would you say it's the size of a horse?
No. Let's say if it took 10 wolves to bring down a buffalo, I'd say it would take maybe 5 dire wolves to take down that same buffalo.
So they're
not massively bigger. Like if a regular wolf sits this high, a dire wolf will be about here.
They're still really big though.
Still big.
So you're like saying like a mini pony.
Yeah. Big, but not, I mean, like if you saw one, it'd be like,
God dang.
oh my God.
There's a big old boy.
Who's a real good boy? Who's a real good boy? Don't eat.
Who's a dead boy? Me.
I don't know if I have enough guns here to do the job. I'm going to run. But that's the other thing, too, is the claims are that the Dogman stands upright and runs on 2 feet.
But how, like...
And I'm really curious as to how does that work?
But the thing is, if it ran on all fours, wouldn't you have seen forward paw marks instead of back?
Yeah, like that's another thing too. Like, what offshoot made this then? Why would the Dogman? Like, cause we can say that there's some speculations with like links and stuff with the Sasquatch, and we keep going back to this, but it's our only thing to help kind of bridge.
It's a basis.
It's a basis of what we're doing. But what causes, like, what would it have changed for the Dogman to have like posable thumbs and that, but.
But who says that they do?
Yeah, that's the other thing, too.
It doesn't make any sense.
I've been searching for that very detail. Like, does it have a human-like hand? And
but
nobody seems to have an answer for it.
So, but then that's what I'm saying. Like, then why does it look like and the way the legs are too? What makes it like want to stand up?
I have a speculation about it.
Okay.
I don't know if this will make much sense, but I was thinking a lot about. It was the last time we were at the farm and I was feeding my dog. I was actually sitting there and I was looking at him. He's a good looking guy, you know, and I was sitting there looking at him.
Boy.
And I was thinking about his hind legs, right? And when you see the footprints, you're like, okay, so this has a wolf-like paw, right?
Wolf Blitzer.
Like Wolf Blitzer. And when I'm looking at it, I'm sitting there and I'm looking at his leg and I'm like, okay, so I've seen people's like renderings of what they said it looked like, and it has the canine back legs and a long, you know, elongated hind leg, you know what I'm talking about, down to the paw. That design is nature's design for something that she wants to run on 4 legs fast.
Yeah.
That design is not efficient for running on 2.
Yeah, because
So if you told me that the Dogman moves on 4 legs, but he maybe attacks or intimidates on 2,
kind of like a bear.
I could get behind that.
I can go with that, because like even like most dogs, especially heavy, and like this is the Dogman, it's just this like probably the weight and size of a Sasquatch. So what do you say, like a normal Sasquatch, they say would weigh 500-800 pounds maybe?
These from what they're estimating, they're saying anywhere from 7 to 1,000 pounds. 700 to 1,000.
Big boy.
So let's just like be generous and say that most Dogmen are smaller, maybe
I would say
700 pounds at least, or maybe 600.
Yeah.
Even with that much weight, like I've seen like heavier dogs, like let's go with Max. Remember when he like just like sat on he could not keep his leg, like he couldn't stay up there that long.
No, he couldn't,
because his back legs were
he wasn't built for that.
He wasn't built for that. Right. So I can see that. So everybody like keeps saying that they run away on 2 legs. I could see them like you said, intimidate and then run away Like they start on 2 legs, but then once they get this big stride,
right,
they'll start to run on all 4s. But that's the thing. They keep saying too. Okay, dogs look at a dog's shoulders.
Okay.
Like ours are broad. Like running on have you ever tried to run on all 4 legs?
My friend has.
Yes.
I know it's kind of awkward because our legs are not like designed for that.
It's because of the way our knees are. Our knees
Well,
are
our
different than animals.
knees, but our shoulders too, because we're too spread out.
Yeah.
We're not like kind of kicked in like how a dog is.
We don't
It's just
have
not
as
how
much joint.
It's not how our balance is.
But then that would I would feel like that would reflect on the Dogman
Well, yeah.
because his wide shoulders.
It's proportionate in its weight distribution.
Yeah, so you're telling me that like these people are saying that a Dogman basically has the torso and shoulders and arms of a man, but waist and head of a wolf.
Yeah, that's what we're hearing.
I just can't get that because the proportions. I think that dang thing would be just. I think it'd just be laying in the middle of the the grass somewhere. Like I can't move.
I don't know what to do. The one thing interesting is that a lot of people say that I've read a few where they're saying that my bedroom window is 12 feet off the ground and this thing looked right in my window, and I'm sitting there like, okay, you know what? I'm going to humor this because
their back feet.
I've seen my dog stretch himself all the way up and look right over the top of the kennel at me. And I'm thinking, so if this thing comes up to the house and it just kind of stands itself up and it can look right in. And that would be
terrifying.
Oh my God, that'd be horrifying. Could you imagine it?
I'd pee myself.
I
don't even know where I got the gun.
Here's another thing. On our way home from work, I actually came across somebody. I've sent a message. I'm crossing my fingers and my toes that this person gets back to me. Apparently, there's some stories right here in Kentucky, about a clash between a Sasquatch and the Dogman. And
that sounds
apparently
interesting.
Somebody witnessed it. I want to get the whole story. I want to hear about it. It's the rumble in the jungle.
Are you kidding me?
That's awesome.
These are
they got the best pay-per-view that everybody wants.
Exactly. These are the heavyweight champions of. Well, I don't know if
the forest.
I feel like Bigfoot's probably a heavyweight champion, and maybe like Nessie in cryptozoology in cryptozoids. I feel like the Dogman is stepping up.
Like a welterweight?
Yeah, like he's putting some weight on. He wants to challenge for the throne. He's sick of all
he's
the
like
Sasquatch.
Rocky?
Yeah.
It's like
he's trying to go apparently in the story though.
Yeah.
Apparently, from what I understand, if I get this wrong, hopefully this person will correct me. But from what I understand, the Dogman lost this fight, and
so did Rocky.
I think that would make sense.
Rocky lost the first one,
but Rocky didn't get eaten by Apollo Creed.
That's true. That's true.
And that would have been a much more interesting movie.
So hold on, did he say that he was going to the Sasquatch ate the Dogman?
That's what he said that the Sasquatch drugged the body off.
I wonder what it tastes like.
I don't know.
Why are you questioning that?
Could you imagine?
Out of all the stuff that we could have asked about that whole situation, you're like, what would it taste like?
It's the same reason we were talking about terror birds, the prehistoric bird. And I the first thing I said was, I wonder what barbecued terror bird wings would be like.
Oh my God.
It's just a thing. When you're heavy, when you're fat like us, you just start thinking this way.
You
We
remember
can't
that
help
giant bird I showed you?
Yeah. Oh God.
That's definitely related to the terror bird.
She showed me this crazy bird that I didn't even know existed, and I don't ever want to see one.
It's like my height, and it's like huge.
So it's short.
It's a little bitty
I
bird.
will
Is that
hit you.
But no, could you imagine? You're walking through the forest. You're strolling. Maybe you're bird watching. I don't know. And you find yourself. You hear some noises up ahead, and you're like, what's all the commotion? What's going on? And you just step out of the clearing and you look, and here is the Sasquatch and the Dogman battling it out right in front of you, what the hell would you do? I mean, personally, I feel like I would freeze. I really do. I feel like I would freeze, and I feel like it would take me a little bit for my brain to just fully process what it is that I'm seeing.
I'd probably do the same.
And then probably mask myself and then run.
Yeah.
Hopefully it would mask the scent of me so they wouldn't want to eat me too. But I couldn't imagine walking up on these two things just battling it out. And what would your opinion be? Like, why would these things fight?
Territory. I feel like that would be a big one. It would be territory.
Well,
or a meal.
Or a meal, yeah.
Territory or a meal.
They say the female Sasquatches are the meanest.
That makes sense.
You know, if maybe babies are near.
You're saying like human women aren't mean too.
that is. I've heard that.
What's that supposed to mean?
I've heard that. I don't know.
I don't know. I didn't.
We'll have to do an episode on that.
What?
So.
But yeah, like what would they be doing? And like just like how we said in the previous episode, was these the noises that Lee was hearing, like was these like other like, because he said there was other clans, like they're just like us, like back in like back in
I help it.
Like back in the day, like just like Native American tribes and stuff, and they'd just be like, "Hey, this is my land."
Yeah, you know the crazy howling. You know the crazy howling sounds. We were listening to those sounds. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
What was it? Thinker Thunker.
Oh,
great
Terrifying.
YouTube channel. By the way.
Oh yeah, check him out. I like that
one
guy.
out. But the howling sounds. What if that's the Dogman? What if he's out there challenging? You know, or what if he's out there yelling, "Hey, this is my territory."
That
here.
that kind of makes sense.
This stuff gets into your head too. I told him this earlier. I don't know if I told you, but feeding the animals at the farm the other day, I'm standing there and I'm feeding the chickens, and in the woods, our property sits by a bunch of woods. In the woods, I hear whoop.
Yeah, you told me this.
And I just stopped, and I'm like, "You have to be kidding me."
I wanted to bring up back the thing where you said that Sasquatch and Dogman fought, right?
Yeah, that's the story.
I was thinking about it while you guys were talking, and I was like, you said that Sasquatch won that fight, right?
That's how I interpret it. If I'm wrong, I'm hoping that this person will correct me, but yeah.
In my head, the comparison between Sasquatch and Dogman, Sasquatch winning is not surprising to me at all.
Yeah.
Because Sasquatch is more, I feel like Sasquatch would be more...
It's more power.
It's more muscle and a lot more like... It's not fast. I mean, it could be fast, but we don't know.
What they say that these things...
they say they're pretty damn quick.
They say they're pretty fast. And they say that these things, like
But compared to Dogman, who is a dog compared to a quote-unquote, like, ape monkey thing. Dogman would be a lot faster, wouldn't it?
What, Dogman?
Yeah, like, because it's like more, like, it's like canine or...
Yeah.
Like, just because, like...
I just feel like the Dogman would have a lot more muscle. I mean, not the Dogman, Sasquatch.
Yeah. I feel like you're right. Like, I feel like the Sasquatch would be your tank. Like, he would be able to take, like, I feel like he would wait for his moment. If this is, like, true, like, the way that I would picture it, the Sasquatch would wait for his moment. He would let the Dogman come in hard, because it's going to be, like, the way that they all talk about the Dogman, he's, like, more of aggressive, like
short-tempered type of animal.
Yeah, short-tempered, like, just aim to kill in, like, certain ways. Like, so, I would say that he would go in, like, he would be very agile, like, dexterity-wise, just like a wolf would be.
Right.
But then again, like, if you think about it, if it has the mind state and the instinct of a wolf, would he even let that Sasquatch know that he was there before he came in there? And if it had the instinct of a wolf, why would it be alone?
That's exactly what I was thinking when you said that.
Point.
Was how do we know it's just one Dogman in any area? What if it's a pack? You know,
Unless it's an Omega, like because just like in like ones that want to be alpha, they're straight like
find
basically.
its pack.
Yeah, it has to go find its pack. So
Or it could just be a lone wolf, because that's also a phrase. I just feel like the comparison between a Sasquatch and a Dogman, if you like put them in your head side by side, one is more built on surviving in the forest through gathering like food and more like maternal and more knowing of the forest. The Dogman is literally like mostly dependent on food, offspring, staying with a pack. And I feel like if it was the idea of like Sasquatch would be like more thinking, like knowing like I'm in danger, I need to do something. Dogman would be Dogman would be more in on like this is in my territory, I gotta kill this thing.
Okay, so
it would be more aggressive.
Let me reiterate, if I'm understanding you.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're looking at the Sasquatch as a much more organized being.
Yeah.
It would be more because there's stories of even Lee said that they hunt deer. So I mean you see deer all the time doing the job, and they're not. That wouldn't be easy to run down and catch one and kill it. I mean, Jesus, a Dogman I'd say could probably run one down and kill one.
Yeah.
But a Sasquatch is a big humanoid. So I'm like, I can't help but think that,
like the guy, like Lee said, it sat and it waited when the deer were around.
So what do you think? It waits and ambushes? What if it grabbed the Dogman on accident?
That'd be really funny.
Realized what
like, oops.
Oh, I've got a fight on my hands here. This ain't no deer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, if the Sasquatch can lay there and not be detected by deer, that means that it's obviously good at masking its scent with its surroundings. What if the Dogman just simply walked across it? He didn't even mean to. What if he was on his way to wherever he was going at the time?
You mean the Sasquatch was...
And the Sasquatch was laying there in wait. And what if it was a happenstance clash where it wasn't actually meant to happen, but
it did anyway?
It's like that whole thing. Hey, we're in it now. Neither one of us is backing down. You know what I mean?
Dogman versus Sasquatch versus Mothman. I'm ready.
It sounds like a sci-fi movie, just
really
waiting to
does.
happen. Honestly.
It sounds awesome, though.
But it sounds like a great story, and I really hope this person gets. I know I keep saying that, but I'm very excited for this person to hopefully let us give them a call and hear the story, because
I can't wait.
I could sit here and speculate on that one all night. So we've got a little bit of an argument on our hands with the Dogman. One is the proportions of the thing. How does an animal designed to run on fours run on two legs successfully?
Especially with human traits.
With human,
And how would it get the human traits?
What did it evolve from? Wouldn't we have seen some kind of predecessor?
Pick this in your brain. Since we've had the whole mixing of DNA and stuff and cloning stuff.
Yeah.
What happens if this is like an offshoot, like something like an experiment gone wrong, and they were released?
Could be a possibility.
Like something like just got released in the wild and stuff like that.
There's World War II stories of
that would make sense.
Nazi soldiers, or not soldiers, Nazi scientists experimenting with human hybridization to make super soldiers. I don't know if it's true, but it's out there. It's there to look at.
Well,
Russian soldiers reported having to stop and advance through I don't know where it was at. You know what? I'll look it up. I'll find out, and we'll come back to it eventually. But apparently, there was an area where they stopped their advance because they were getting picked off by large wolf-like creatures on two legs.
That's terrifying.
That's crazy, because that's back in World War II, and I know those guys saw a lot and they experienced a lot, and there's a lot of traumatic experience there, but it's crazy. There was archive footage you could look up where it showed a couple of the corpses that they killed laying there, and for being such an old film, it's a little disconcerting when you look at it, because you're like, okay, if they fake this, that's one thing, but they would have faked this while there was something much more important going on in the world. You know, there was this great clash, and then right in the middle of it, we have Mr. Dogman again, but this time he's aggressive and he's literally, you know, on the offense. You know what I mean? Whereas in most of the stories I've read, the Dogman is very. I get the distinct feeling that the Dogman is being caught in the act when I see these videos or hear the reports. Yeah. He's going to steal a chicken or a goat, and somebody comes out because they hear him, and they get their camera, you know, and they try to film him. He's like, oh no, I got to get out of here. Boom, they see him, it freaks him out, and then that's all you get. But there's a couple stories in there where the Dogman is aggressive. So my argument is, when in regards to pattern, why is the pattern so inconsistent? Why is the pattern in the report so inconsistent? There's so many people out there that report seeing this thing, and yet we're having a little bit of trouble getting somebody on the line to talk to us about it.
Yeah.
The other part of the argument is, why did nature decide to create a Dogman if nature did? What need did it serve? You know, I could actually put the Sasquatch in a more probability on this regard, because multiple types of human and human ancestors lived at the same time. And that's like we keep coming back to, the blueprint was already there. It seems to be a pattern that's already kind of happened. It happens in nature even now. If you look at birds and animals like that, multiple types of birds exist. Why? I mean, most birds do similar things for nature, right? I mean, a cardinal and a canary do more or less the same job in nature. Why was there a need for both of them?
There was one island, I forget what island it was, but it has like 8 different types of the same finch.
Yes.
Branched off.
Yeah, Darwin's finch.
Yeah.
Is a good example of that.
That's what I was talking about.
Why did nature need so many of the same thing? Well, you know, evolution in nature kind of works that way. It uses prototypes that work the best for the environment. I'd almost, if I had a little bit more to go on, I would almost venture to say that maybe if Sasquatch is real, we should probably reevaluate if we are indeed nature's perfect prototype.
Another thing that we could go on to, what about like the Native Americans idea of the Wendigo, like that kind of thing.
Ooh.
Or like some kind of curse put on these people that maybe they are human, but they just can't.
Father and I have had the discussion of the Wendigo
they can't go back
times.
So that would be a nice thing too. It's like, if you guys, if somebody's out there and they don't have they believe that it's the Dogman, maybe you feel like it was a Wendigo, or what are the Spanish, or say
chupacabra,
El Chupacabra, like that kind of thing. I would like to see something
the goat sucker.
Yeah. Something like that. I would like to see what there's a but I want to see I know that they're far in between a lot of people say they're different. There's different variants in that, especially the El Chupacabra and the Wendigo. The Wendigo, they always say that it has it's kind of like the Dogman, but I've heard that it had a deer's head with a huge rack.
Yes.
Like a very big rack.
Yeah, that was something interesting. I touched on to the Wendigo topic a little bit. My grandmother was Native American. Wendigo wasn't something that you really discussed a lot.
Yeah, no.
It was kind of a
sensitive topic.
I don't know if it was a sensitive topic, but it was definitely a topic that deserved respect. You know, it was, you didn't sit there and laugh and joke about Wendigo. Like, I mean, I hate to say it, but in this, you know, in the same sense that you discuss a Sasquatch, you didn't really regard Wendigo in the same way. It was more like,
just stay away from that.
like, yeah, like just leave it alone and don't invoke its name, because if the Wendigo comes, there's a reason.
It's Voldemort.
It is the other. I mean, you know how we were talking about the Mothman usually shows up to warn people of danger, whereas the Wendigo usually shows up to set a right to a wrong. You know, like some injustice was done, the Wendigo comes to make it right. By nature standards, though, not by ours. Our standards are fictional. We make them up, just like the lines, the state lines. They're not really there. You know.
Oh yeah, but circling back, I remembered what I was going to say. Like you were saying that we might, like, in nature, we might not be the actual.
We might not be.
Not the best prototype.
Yeah, the best suited for the job.
Yeah, suited for the job. Like we always, like I know that we keep going back to it, that the Sasquatch might have low numbers, but what if it's that they have low numbers because they're just starting. They're just
coming out.
They're just coming out, and then I want to say give it some time.
Yeah.
But over the years, I don't think it would be in any of our lifetimes. I feel like sightings, if this is true, sightings will increase more and more and more.
You could be onto something there, because we don't know their lifespan.
Mm-hmm.
That
Their
is true,
lifespan could be much longer than ours. If you think about it, we don't know. I mean, this is a natural creature that's obviously more well suited to survive than we are.
Or it could be less, and that's why we don't see it.
And
as
what
much.
about disease for these things? What are do they have cancers? Like, are we actually, like, what?
That's
what,
really interesting.
What, like, would they actually have any kind of problem, like, with, like, all the stuff, like, electronics going around?
You actually just prodded a thought right out of nowhere. I mean, it just, boom, just like that. What if they avoid us because we carry disease?
There you go.
What if they don't want us to find them because we carry, I mean, at any given time, we carry microbes. Now we've got the coronavirus.
Maybe that's another thing, too, is, like, they don't want to attack us. Like, I've always heard that they don't attack us. They always do the bluff charge.
The bluff charge, yeah.
Why does a creature that big bluff you?
Right.
I don't, like, I'm just saying, like, I know that as a bigger man, like, a bigger dude, if somebody comes at me with intent,
yeah,
I'm gonna, like, I don't give a crap if you're, like,
it doesn't matter.
Like, smell like this. If
point.
you're smaller than me, I'm gonna bulldozer right over you. Like,
right.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're coming at me with,
if it's a bigger dude, you're like, our battle will be legendary.
Yeah. Like, they're gonna hear the echoes of our fucking, the punches.
We literally don't know, but yeah, what if they can? I mean, animals can smell disease and sickness. What if they literally can smell all the cold viruses, and they can smell the flu viruses, and they can smell it?
It's also like the thought of
But then
the reason why you don't see them in big areas is the pollution, because that could also cause sickness in them. So that's why they're more in, like, the forest area.
That makes sense to me. I mean,
that's probably why, like, too. And I will give him this, that there's probably, like Lee, he's probably, like, how he said that he's been going to the same areas over and over.
Yeah.
But he's not having real close in contact with these creatures. I think that they are docile. They want to interact with us, but they just don't, like, they don't want to risk it because they know, like, they basically, like, we're those people. Like, we're like, hey, stay away from them, because there's, like, maybe their immune system is not built for, like,
it could be a whole different
thing.
Yeah,
like, they have to stay, like, I don't know, maybe the germs that we produce personally as a human species, maybe it's not something that they can handle, and they've probably interacted with humans over time.
Yeah.
And it's like,
it always leads
next
to
you know,
disaster.
Bob is like having this weird skin rash on his face because
he's losing all of his hair.
Is losing all of his hair, and now he's
Bob was naked now.
Now Bob's working in New York doing taxes.
Not telling anybody that he's a Sasquatch.
No,
he's just a really big
he's just
accountant.
a really tall dude.
He's a big
like
accountant.
Andre the Giant. He was probably one at a Sasquatch at one point.
He might have been.
Yeah.
At some point in his life, he decided, I'm going to be a Sasquatch.
He
Became
saw
one that decided
a
no
wrestling
more.
billboard, and he was like, I'm leaving the forest, guys. He was breaking Bigfoot.
He's breaking Bigfoot.
You know what I mean?
I just got reminded that there was an you know Shrek?
Yeah.
There was an actual, like, wrestler that was that Shrek was based off of. And it's like this huge dude. And it's like he married this really beautiful woman, and this guy is literally,
He's
looks
a
like
wrestler,
Shrek. It's off topic, but that's just what it reminded me of.
In all honesty, though, like, coming back to the argument, though,
Yeah.
the dog man, fascinating topic. There's a lot to sort out, and I plan on going deeper into it. I want to sort out the good and the bad and the ugly. It's hard to do a Dogman segment without Bigfoot being involved, and I have a feeling that because of the frequency and you know how many sightings of Sasquatch there is, and like we were saying, he's our basist. He's our basis of comparison.
I kind of want, yeah, because
I feel like Bigfoot's going to be our kind of like model. Like we're looking at the Loch Ness Monster. We kind of have Bigfoot as our model of comparison, sightings, patterns, you know.
Yeah, because I feel like out of all the cryptozoology, is that how you say it?
Yeah. Cryptozoology.
He is more, like, he has some plausible.
There's a lot more plausibility there.
Like, because you kept saying, like, migration patterns, behavioral patterns.
Yeah.
And what was the other one? You had a third one. I couldn't remember.
The other pattern is geological significance, or geographical significance. The sightings happen in certain places. Certain
times.
They have a certain area that they're seen in. You know, people frequent that. They call it a hot spot. You know?
Yeah, that's kind of like what I'm saying. Like, I feel like with that, like, they have pattern, and I've you've drilled this into my head for like for a while now. If there's pattern, there's science. There's some type of science that could be done on it.
That's it. It paves the way for science.
Yeah. So basically, this Sasquatch can be our foundations, especially for creatures in general.
Yeah.
Like, if it's something that's like in nature, I can see it. I can see that to be our basis.
Yep.
So
it's gonna be. I know we're gonna be breaking away from creatures for a little bit. I know we've got crop circles coming up. We've got UFO sightings coming up. We've got a witch's tree coming up that we're gonna be going into. We've got some remarkable stories of extraterrestrial encounters.
Loch Ness Monster.
We've got some haunted sites, things like that. There's lots of stuff coming up, so it'll be nice to take a kind of a break from creatures for a little bit. I'm hoping we get somebody who wants to get on here and chew the fat with us about this a little bit. But I'll just say this: where are you, Dogman? We need to know. You know, if you've had a Dogman sighting, if you're sure, maybe you're not sure. Maybe things just didn't add up for you. Something crazy happened. You can't explain it. Reach out to us. Encounters, kyxfiles.com. Let us know, and we'll do our best to try to understand with you. You know, and hopefully all you guys that subscribed already, I'm blown away.
Thank you. That's
crazy.
So much.
Did not expect it. Didn't expect it. We thought, hey, we're doing this, we're having fun, we're talking about stuff that we like. Didn't realize how fast you guys would jump on here and join us on this. So that's really mind blowing. We want to do a lot more.
Oh yeah, do we have like a Facebook or anything like set up yet?
No Facebook yet. We have a website.
Okay, we got a website. We just, like, you just gave
And YouTube.
we got the YouTube and stuff. But yeah, like everybody that's subscribed right now, come on, like just give us something.
Give us something.
Give us something to talk about. It doesn't matter what you have. Just
Keep us busy.
Yeah, keep us busy. Like what's been on your mind lately? Tell us your monster of the week.
Yeah.
How
we
are
wanna hear
you
it.
today?
Yeah, how are you? Tell us.
Like if you heard a really crazy story that you've been itching to talk to somebody about,
Even if it's dumb.
I'm up for anything.
I don't care. Like
Yeah.
I've been looking up vampires,
Yeah.
like trolls. Like, dude, I want to hear a troll story.
Me too.
I'm trying to pin one down right now. It's a lady who collects haunted dolls because I love the topic. I love it. I don't know why. I just think that haunted dolls are just awesome, and I want to know more. I want to know why a person wants to collect them. I know.
Yeah.
I kind of want to collect them.
I don't.
I don't know why.
Nuh-uh.
Not living in the house anymore.
Stay tuned, guys. There's going to be a lot more coming up. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to enjoy this. It's going to be great. We're going to spend some time at this. And if you haven't noticed already, we don't really take a real hard stance either way it goes. We like to kind of feel our way through it and, kind of weigh the options. And if something is, blatantly fake, I feel like it's gonna find its way to the surface. It'll show us. If something is real, again, it's gonna find its way to the surface as being real. It'll show us. It'll show us the way. We're gonna spend our time weighing things. We want to take that approach with all of this stuff. So tell us your stories. Send it in. Don't hesitate. We will not make fun of you. We're not going to get you on here and put you on the spot. We just want to hear your story. We want to try to help you. And if we can't help you, maybe somebody else out there listening can. And with that being said, I want you to sleep good tonight. Get comfortable. There's little bumps in the night. They're probably nothing.